one of the key kind of components or the basis of the book that I kind of have to introduce you to is it talks about something called maneuver warfare. And maneuver warfare is a obviously a type of warfare. It's a type of technique, and it's counter to something that's called attrition warfare. Now, you could probably guess what attrition warfare is. Attrition warfare is we're going to go against the enemy, we're going to stand toe-to-toe, and we're going to punch each other in the face until one of us goes down. Now, when you add bombs and bullets into that scenario, it means we're going to stand across from each other, from the enemy, and we're going to shoot each other and bomb each other until one of us breaks. And that's a very American way of fighting, is to start this attrition warfare. Because why? We've got massive supplies, we've got awesome industry, and we can get away with that. Maneuver warfare is very different. And to go into the book a little bit in talking about maneuver warfare, this is what maneuver warfare is. In maneuver warfare, the emphasis is on maneuver. Firepower is considered important only to the extent that it facilitates maneuver. The overall offensive mission is to win decisively by getting the enemy to surrender. So it's very different. You in that definition, they're not even looking to kill the enemy. They're looking to make them surrender, because it's in some ways easier if the enemy surrenders. You don't have to kill them all. Now, to go on, the focus is outward on the enemy. Again, this is maneuver warfare. The focus is outward on the enemy. And a few mistakes, like outdistancing one's logistical support or shooting at a friendly unit, are acceptable and unavoidable. So that's kind of crazy, right? That you take these risks in maneuver warfare where you might engage friendly forces, you might get so separated that you end up in a bad situation, but it's because you're pushing the pace. Control is decentralized, and every subunit or individual is encouraged to display the initiative needed to react successfully to the local threat. And this is the biggest distinguisher between attrition warfare and the way it's run and maneuver warfare. Decentralized command. And that is a chapter in the book Extreme Ownership that Leif and I wrote. That's one of the laws of combat that we talk about, is decentralized command. Is that everybody that's out on the battlefield, every individual unit leader, can make decisions on their own, and they can make something happen, they can react, and they can execute without having to run it up the chain of command. That's maneuver warfare. Very, very different. And these days where we see the big difference, you see a big bureaucratic company. Now that we're working with businesses, we see a big bureaucratic company. They become very centralized in their control, and they fight attrition warfare against other companies because they're bigger and they have more resources. Whereas you see the young startups, what are they doing? They're doing maneuver warfare. They've got decentralized command. They've got people taking chances. They're taking risks. And they've got different leaders out there on the battlefield that are trying to make things happen. Mm-hmm. The emphasis is on training personnel, and this is back to the book. The emphasis is on training personnel well enough ahead of time that they can follow their commander's intent in combat after only receiving broad guidance. Of course, subunit must still keep their commanders informed of any actions that might affect adjacent units. So you end up with a situation where the commander is not telling you exactly what to do. They're giving you broad guidance. Hey, this is the end state of the mission that I want to have accomplished. And they're not telling you exactly how to accomplish it. They're just telling you what they want done. So that's a difference between the two.